Mindsavers 2025 workshop. Your workshop facilitators today are myself, Shafia. I have our consultant psychiatrist, Dr. Azad Kamil. I also have one of my GP colleagues. We have a few other volunteers as well that are supporting us today. So just to begin with, some housekeeping. So the main door is as you came in here. And also just to let you know, this is being recorded for a radio show. The presentation that I'm doing now will be recorded. However, the small groups that you have later on are going to be not recorded, so you're more than welcome to ask your questions and everything in private, so they won't be recorded, but this presentation is recorded. We want you all to focus so you can benefit and enjoy today. Ideally, please switch your phones off totally or at least put them on silent. Again, as I said, this is a confidential space, but I know we're sharing it at the moment, so please ask questions if you can. If not, you can save them for the small groups. We also have small boxes as well if you want to ask any anonymous questions as well, so please feel free to do so, and we will address them during the small group talks. And also please remember to be respectful as well. All of us here are coming from different backgrounds, different experiences, different age groups as well. Our opinions may differ on who we are, what our experiences are, so please be mindful, please be respectful, so everyone feels welcome and comfortable to say what they wish to say and ask what they need to ask as well. And just a warning that some of the content may be difficult or triggering, so please, if you need to take a break, please feel free to step out, and if you need support, please feel free to ask for it as well. So this is our QR code where you can find some guidance and some handouts as well. Don't worry about writing any notes or anything, because you will get the summary booklet if you go onto the QR code. There are some printed copies as well if you have one. So the plan for today, this introduction and main presentation will take about 40 minutes. Then we'll have some small group activities, which is supposed to take about 15 minutes, and then we'll provide some break and light refreshments. Then we will return as a group again and just tell you about some resources, signpost you to different places that you can go to. Have 10 minutes for question and answers that you may have, and then 5 minutes for feedback and closing. Throughout the presentation, if anyone does have any questions, do please put your hand up. So what is BIMA firstly? So we are a group of healthcare professionals who volunteer and run various projects to serve our communities across the UK. And these are some of the recent projects that BIMA have been involved in, and some that you may know. So we've got a Lifesavers one where they teach first aid and life-saving skills. There's a blood donation one. There's ACE, DFT, health days and tours. There's also what we're doing today, and there's some about anxiety and also some Ramadan healthy reminders as well. Again, you can find more information about these projects on the website using the QR code that we have shown you. And sorry, I should have said BIMA stands for British Islamic Medical Association. So the aims for us today are to understand why we need to know about mental health, understand some of the signs of poor mental health, learn a simple framework of how to maintain or improve your mental health, learn how to support others and where to get help for maybe yourself or others that you know. And as I said, there will be an opportunity for question and answer as well. We have tried to give a lot of opportunities because I know some people will be coming today out of curiosity, some people will have their own questions, some people will be coming for support as well. So please do come forward if you do have questions and answers. You're more than welcome to approach us during the break as well if you wish to speak to any of us separately. So what is mental health and well-being? So WHO, which is the World Health Organization, explained well-being as a positive state experienced by individuals and societies. Well-being encompasses quality of life and the ability of people and societies to contribute to the world with a sense of meaning and purpose. And as you can see here, for us as Muslims, a lot of our daily life and how we live our lives is God-centered. And around that, we try to manage our lives. So it's about being spiritual, like feeling spiritually well. Can we do our prayers? What is our faith teaching us? And are we able to keep up with those things? Everything is about balance and moderation. So spiritual, mental, physical, all of that needs to be well for us to feel well as well. There's the economic and the material well-being. Yes, we say that we shouldn't be materialistic, but sometimes we have to because we have bills to pay, we have children to feed and families to look after. So we do have to think about the material world as well. And this day and age is not easy. Things are expensive, things are difficult. So it is a very big concern at times. As I said, physical well-being. Social well-being is a big one, which affects our mental health. So I think, most of everyone that I'm seeing here, we come from a very community strong culture and we're very big on family as well. So a lot of us are blessed to have that family support, that community support. I know Luton is something that I got to know recently. I'm not local, but yeah, it's very big on community here. But if you don't have that support, I can only imagine what that feels like to be quite isolated and be struggling. And I think many of our parents, maybe our grandparents, when they migrated, they probably felt that, but somehow they've managed to build a community here for us. So us that are of like the second generation, third generation, we don't feel it maybe so much. But it's difficult. So social well-being is very important as well. And then you have the psychological and emotional well-being. Are we looking after ourselves? What are we telling ourselves daily? A lot of people talk about telling yourself good things, and then we have other things that affect us as well, work, bereavement, maybe home life. So as you can see, there's many factors that affect our well-being. So it's not just about being physically well, there is many things. And for us as Muslims, the focus of well-being is not just about me, it's about our intention and that being in a balanced, as I said, emotional and physical state can contribute positively to ourselves as well. And our families, and also if we think of the broader sense of it as well, the Muslim Ummah, because of the Sikh Father. So, we're kind of all in this together, even though we have our own individual worlds as well. So this is about the cycle. So from my own training, so I should have said before, I'm trained in mental health, so that's what I do. I'm a mental health doctor. And during our training, this is something that we learn. It's called the anxiety cycle. But it's not just about anxiety. It can be tailored to any part of life, really. So the idea is that we have a thought. That thought gives us a physical sensation, which then makes us do something, so that's the behavior, and that behavior gives us a feeling. So, for example, if I think my hand is dirty, for example, that would make me feel a certain way, like, oh, my hand is dirty, it might make me feel icky or something. The behavior that that will lead to is I need to wash my hand, so I will go and wash my hand, and the feeling that I get is that my hands are now clean, I'm okay to continue. So that's just a basic example of how that would work. And you can, as I said, you can relate it to any aspect of life. It doesn't have to be like dirt or anything like that, like I said. So, okay. So, why do we need to be aware of mental health? Can I just put that to the room? Does anyone have any ideas? Why is mental health important? Why do we need to be aware of it? Any hands? Yes. Definitely, so we can function in daily life, 100%.
If you have a family member or someone you know who's suffering with mental health, or they've been diagnosed with a mental health condition, it's difficult to know how to help them and how to talk to them sometimes.
Exactly. So, as I was saying before, it's not just for ourselves, but the wider family and community as well. So yes, and increasing our knowledge allows us to help those that we love. So yeah, definitely. Sorry, sister, did you have your hand up at that? Yes, definitely. And funny thing is, I think most of us go through life thinking, no, this isn't me, this will never happen to me, but we never know. And as they say, we never say never. So yes, mental health can help affect anybody, any age, any background, anybody, any gender. So yeah, it's good to know about for sure. Okay, so some really important principles here. So the question is, why would the Prophet ﷺ teach us a dua for grief and sorrow if Muslims didn't suffer from these things? So the fact that that has been brought down over so many years and so many generations means that it did exist and it still exists. So it's something that's very important for us to know about and also look up about and learn about as well. Then they say that Yaqub alayhi salam became blind, which is a physical symptom, but that was from emotional grief. And is something that I think a lot of people don't realize, but from my own practice and from personal experiences and things like that as well, something that I've realized, a lot of our mothers, aunties, sisters go through life just living that life, and your focus is the family, and family comes first. A lot of our mothers, grandmothers, sisters, aunties will put everybody else first except for themselves. And when they present to the doctor, the GP, first off, they will present with stomachache, headache, those kind of symptoms. But actually, when the GP looks into it, there's nothing. They can't find anything because sometimes the cause is mental health, and it's because of the stress, because of the fact that they don't have time for themselves, because they're putting everyone else first, they're not getting enough rest, they have a lot of family to look after. And so mental health can present as a physical health symptom. So please do not underestimate it. And do look out for the elders, because one thing I've got to realize as I've grown up, the generations are very different, the resilience is very different. And talking about things like mental health is not a thing, but it exists and they do experience it as well. So whether we're talking about our grandfathers or our grandmothers or our dads or moms or aunties or uncles, look out for them and ask them and see if they're okay, check in. Because the physical health that they're presenting with may not be physical health exactly. Of course, attend your GPs, but do check in with them as well. So these are just some examples, as I said, of the ones that relate to the points that I made from Surah Yusuf and Al-Bukhari as well. So again, some more facts about why we need to be aware of mental health. 1 in 4 people will experience a mental health problem of some kind each year in England. That is a big, big number. 1 in 4, that's like, if you think of you guys sitting in a group of 4, that's 1 person in each group of 4. Obviously, I don't want that to happen, but just to give you a perspective of the reality of it. A survey amongst young Muslims found that 37% went to nobody for support. And that's quite sad because living in a Western country, in a country that's so advanced, with our NHS system and our awareness of things, 37% went to nobody. So, as I said, please do check in with each other, guys, and attending. One of the things that I'd like to commend you all on today is the fact that you are attending today. That is a big step. Not many people would come out and attend things like this. So the fact that you're attending, you're trying to find out about things, that's already a very big step towards making people more aware of mental health. So thank you for coming. And then the last fact is Muslims are more likely to be exposed to a range of things that affect mental health, such as social and economic factors. As I said before, there are many, many factors that affect people. So, and migration is a big, big one, and it's been related to some specific mental health disorders like schizophrenia, for example. Depression is also another one as well. So within our communities, obviously we all, most of us here come from families who have migrated to the UK. So that is a big factor. Poverty also is a big factor as well. And also inequalities as well. And I'm sure like somewhere or the other you have experienced inequalities, whether that's at work or at school or at university. It's not easy always, and that can affect our mental health as well. Just to give you some more facts, Muslims report the lowest percentage of people in employment, that is 51.4% compared with 70.9% of the full population. So just to give you an idea. And this is basically a practical framework for Muslims. So just to give you guys an idea today, if you'd like to put it away, it might help you. So this is about learning and understanding different aspects of mental health and some ways of supporting your own mental health and others, as you said. We've designed a framework especially for you in the community. Throughout the workshop, we incorporate the Islamic lens of the And throughout the workshop, think about what you can implement into your daily routine, even if it's something small. And remember the heading, the Professor said, the most beloved of deeds to Allah are those that are most consistent, even if it is small. Or even if it's a small step, as long as you're working towards something, that's what counts. And like I said, what attending today is already a good start. Well done, okay. The main aim of today is that you can make a positive regular change in your day-to-day life, even if it's small. As we go through the workshop today, please think of something you're trying to do, and or you can share it with others as well who may benefit. What is clear is that it's okay not to be okay. And as I was saying, I think this is something that is not emphasized on enough within our communities or our families. And I don't blame anyone for it. It's just the way we've learned to get through what we need to get through, become something invisible, and that's okay. But we also need to know that it's okay not to be okay, because we're all human. We all have a moment that things become overwhelming, and we're not able to manage, and that's fine. So all we're saying is that it's important to understand and prioritize our mental health as we would our physical health. So, for example, if you had a mole on your hand, for example, that you saw was growing, changing, looking uglier than it is, you would go to a GP and you would ask, like, what is this? Why do I have this? Should I be worried about it? So if your mental health, you're not feeling well in your mind, why would you not ask for support as well? Isn't it the same thing? If again, if you had a cold or a headache or a broken leg, would you ask for help? Yes, you would. So why wouldn't you do that for your mental health as well? So as I said, the first step is about noticing and acknowledging how you are feeling. And sometimes that is one of the most difficult things to do. And even though I work in mental health, yes, I go around and help other people, but sometimes I forget to check in with myself. So I I can't tell you that it's the easiest thing to do, but it's advised. So please do check in with yourselves. Get to know yourself. What's normal for me? What's okay for me? Yeah, I'm being told this, but is that okay with me? Am I feeling okay about this? So, and that's how you know what it is that you're feeling, like when it doesn't feel normal. So you have to know the normal to the abnormal, what I'm trying to say. So again, especially for the audience, what are the potential signs of poor mental health? There are some pictures up there, but can anyone give me some ideas about what they think are signs of poor mental health? Yes, very much so. Not being able to manage your daily activities, yes, definitely. Any other ideas? Being tired or worn out, 100%, yeah. Poor diet, yes. So poor diet comes with loss of appetite, the fact that you don't want to eat, and then exactly. So and that can happen in the same disorder as well. So sometimes you just overeat and you indulge yourself, but then you feel bad about it, and then you don't eat. So yeah, you can use your appetite for overeat as well, definitely. Yes. So the like kind of like mood swings or emotional instability, like you're crying, you're happy, then you're angry, and you can't stabilize your emotions definitely. And sadness as well is definitely uh,
Erratic behavior.
erratic behavior. Yes, that can happen as well. What would you do you think might be that?
When someone's confused or they don't know how to burst out with behavior.
Okay, so
They don't know how to manage what they think.
okay.
Or becoming overwhelmed with that.
Yeah, the fact that you can't manage your emotions, it kind of comes up with yes. Mm-hmm. And yes, like you said, if being overwhelmed might cause you to do that, definitely. Or the other hand, sorry,
Sleeping.
sleeping. That is a big one. Sleep goes out of the window. But sometimes you can oversleep as well. So likely eating, it can happen both ways. So definitely sleep. So good. You have this up first.
Lack of motivation, also staying with people or being socially isolated.
Definitely lack of motivation, so that might affect your work life or your school life, and also you mentioned being withdrawn, staying away from people. Definitely. We have a hand up here. So feeling overwhelmed, yes, and like everything's all happening at once. How do I deal with this? Yes, definitely. Okay. Any other ones before I move on? So these are, as I said, these are just some pictures. Great ideas, by the way. It looks like you guys already know a lot of stuff, so I'm happy. So this one, the first one here is later looking in the mirror. So this is about self-image. If you're not feeling well in yourself, you won't like yourself most likely. So you'll see yourself a different way, your self-esteem goes down, your self-worth goes down. But in a different mental health disorder, you can feel great about yourself and think that you're on top of the world and everything. So I think that the two extremes is not a good thing. We like to be in the middle in a stable place where you can be safe. Because if you're too much, you can be unsafe. If you're too little, you can also be unsafe. I think the last one on the side is what this brother here was saying about being withdrawn. And some of the brothers who were talking about being confused. And there's also this one about, I think this one is very relevant, the one at the bottom, the girl with lots of thumbs down. This is very relevant for generations of today who have been brought up in the digital world, not having the latest iPhone, not having the latest tablet, or not having the most designer shoes or bags, etc. Being at school is difficult these days. Being at uni is difficult these days. And then you get things like, even if you're not there, you can get cyberbullying and everything. So that really affects people's mental health as well, especially your value. So one thing that I'd like to say here, I spoke a lot about our elder generation, but our younger generations also experience mental health difficulties. Check in with them. Yes, your children are online, and it doesn't mean that you're suspicious of them or anything, but check in with them. What are you looking at? What is it that you watched today? What is it that who are you having a conversation with? You know, those kind of things are very important as well. Just say both physically and mentally. So do check in. Okay, so let's see very well there. And here's just some other pictures as well. You already spoke about the lack of motivation, lack of energy, feeling less hungry or too hungry, not being able to sleep. And again, physical health, mental health can present as physical health. So having back pain, for example, back pain is a very common presentation, as I'm sure you might typically will corroborate back pain. Pain in general, to be fair, is a big one. And then we realize that actually there's something more going on. So this is just this is the QR code for the booklet, which you can access if you would like to, and it just gives you some more information about anxiety, stress, mood, sleep problems, other conditions. How to support someone that you know that may have mental health, good thinking resources, and support organizations. It does say that this is for Londoners, but the resources can be generalized, it can be used for everyone. Moving on to our second pillar, which is self-help. So, does anyone remember what the first pillar was? Yes, you both got at the same time. Okay, brilliant. So, it's was our first pillar. This is the second pillar, which is self-help. So, we've already talked about when you recognize someone is not doing well. So this one is more about what kind of things that you can do that will help you get better from that. So faith and self-help reminder. So again, as I said before, Bima will direct you to a lot of things from our faith that can help you and motivate you. And one of the quotes is, "All you who have believed, seek help through patience and prayer, indeed aligns with the patient." And I think this is something that most of us have been taught throughout our lives as well, that, it will come, you just have to stay, keep your faith strong. And I think one of the that this reminds me of is something that my parents often taught me, which was that there may be delay in unless house where there's no darkness. So you will get what you are supposed to get, but sometimes that may come with some delay, or if you don't get what you want, what you get is better than what you would have expected even because my plan is well given. But it is understandable that when we're not well in ourselves, it's very hard to focus on that. So I'm not going to say it's easy. And I think our understanding of the fact that sometimes self-care can be sort of a selfish or a Western concept, especially if you have a lot of other responsibilities. But it's not, and it's completely okay to look after yourself. Again, going back to community, strengthen your connection with Allah, strengthen your connection to people. And sometimes you never know, someone else may also be going through the same thing, or they may have an idea that you may not have thought of. So do reach out to others as well. And connection to others and nature is one of the NHS 5 ways of well-being. For Muslims, it is important to connect to Allah as well as people. Connect to Allah through the speech in the Quran, through the Salah, the du'as, understanding of Asma and Husna. And again, there's just two more quotes here. Just to remind us that the Quran does have a lot of things in it that can be helpful for us. And here are some examples of self-help and different things that work for different people. As we already said, prayer does, connecting to other people does, take a break, and just knowing when to take a break as well. I think over the last few years, as we all know, we've been through a pandemic, which has changed a lot of things for a lot of us. Work has changed. Some of us are working from home, and it sounds like a great idea, but from experience, I think I'd rather prefer working in a clinic because when you work from home, you have your own time, you just never finish, and there's no division between home and your office because it's in the same place. So me personally, I prefer to go into clinic, but some people make it work. So what I'm saying is, it's important to take that break. Just because you're at home, it's not a break, it's just your comfort zone. But be mindful to take that break and essentially at home and work. And even when you're at work as well, you take a break. Sometimes it is very difficult, and I'm sure my colleagues here will attest to that, that we continue, and we forget to take a break, but it's just so important just to even have a drink, we're able to the bathroom. Some people talk about like social media detox, not using social media. And also sleep, doing hobbies that you enjoy as well. So and taking walks, nature is very can be very good. Okay, so these are the 5 steps to well-being. Again, we need to so please do use them. Yeah. Pillar 3, let someone know. So we've spoken about it's okay to not be okay. We've spoken about helping ourselves. Now it's about letting someone else know. So who can you go to for support? So informal help, you can go to your friends, family, colleagues, community help, the imam or masjid, community center, community groups, professional help, as I said, GP is your first point of call. They may recommend refer you to psychiatrists, they can refer you to counselors or psychologists as well. And a lot of GPs now have a mental health worker as well that you can see instead of literally just one going faster through that route. There are also emergency lines as well. Like if you feel you can't keep yourself safe, or you feel the person that you're trying to help is not safe, then you can call NHS 111 option 2 for the crisis line. And if it's like urgent, then obviously 999 as well. So as you said, professional help, GP and mental health workers, they monitor and diagnose our disorders. They can suggest lifestyle changes, we can provide medication, we can refer to other services as well, as I said. And then you have the therapies. So it's not necessarily that you always need medication. Sometimes therapies might help as well. And you just need someone to listen to you, just someone to talk. So talking therapies, cognitive behavioral therapy, there's also like art therapy, drama therapy, music therapy, writing therapies as well. And sometimes we can self-refer to these sources as well. So there's a QR code there. Thank you. And how can we support someone if we feel they're struggling with their mental health? So these are our top tips. So it's not covered, but the first one is listening. Listening is a really big thing. Sometimes you don't need to say anything or suggest anything or do anything. You just need to listen. You just need to let everything out. And listening is so helpful, so therapeutic. Sometimes you might need to reassure them. Be non-judgmental. That's a big one as well, because the fact that they've come to you, that in itself has taken a lot to do that. So be non-judgmental. Create a safe space for them. Like I said, whether you're talking to your elders or your youngest, make sure that there's a safe space that they know that they can come to you. And keep social contact as well. That may be difficult sometimes, but we try our best and we check in with each other. what you can say to someone who needs a little support. Do you want to talk about it? I'm always here. How are you feeling today? Tell me more. What can I do to help? Me personally, I like the one, what can I do to help? That I think goes a really long way. And this is about suicide. So this short video can give you more information about helping someone who is thinking suicidal and get to use the map to our way there. As I said before about urgent help, so 999 or you can click into A&E 111 option 2 for the crisis line. Again, the QR code will give you some links to urgent help. And then we have pillar 4 is Ask Allah. So that's something that we know already, and I'm sure most of us do on a daily basis. And this is a verse from the Quran, just talking about when you reach out to Allah, He is there and there for you. So do call upon Him. And this is the Prophet. Again, another one from the Hadith as well. And just to reiterate, like, there's no correct way or wrong way of making a dua. Dua comes from the heart, and it can be in your own language, it can be in English, it can be how you want it to be, but it's from you to Allah, and you know, everyone has their own relationship with Allah. I'm not going to say much more on that because I don't think I'm qualified enough to say anything, but yeah, everyone's relationship is unique. So reach out, speak to how you find it most comfortable to do so. And you can use this QR code to find more words if you want to, and they've been put into the different topics or different feelings and experiences that people might experience like anger, anxiety, and different things. The last pillar is the messengers of Allah. So again, going back to the Prophet, he experienced a lot of sorrow and he also cried as well, as we all know. And this is from so the Prophet only had one of his children during his prophethood, and that was with him who died of an illness while the Prophet aged only he was the baby was only 16 months at the time, and the Prophet recognized the emotions in his heart, the grief and the physical impact which is here. And this teaches us that how we respond or with ourselves, utilize our iman, is so yes, we experience grief and we experience all of those things, but so that's completely normal because we're human, but it's how we respond to that and how we continue and how we recover from that matters. And sometimes we're mainly supporting that, and that's completely okay as well. It doesn't mean that we're not feeling grief or we're weak or we don't know how to deal with it. It's okay. Again, this one's from Prophet Musa, and there's another one from Ayub as well. This was written before this dua did a good deed and helped with the water for the animals for the girls without expecting anything from them. And Prophet Ayub, the story when Allah answered his dua when he asked him to hit the ground with his heel, example of what we can and needs and actions as well as suffer at the same time. As we said, sometimes we may need to be patient and this is just a review of all the 5 pillars. As we said before, the first one is okay. Second one is self-help. Third one is that is one love. Fourth, Asuna. And the last one is what the messenger is. Very well remembered. So now we're going to our activities, but I'm running over time. So thank you so much for your time so far.
So that's the purpose of presentation. Sorry, with running late, I'm conscious of the Isha prayers at 8 o'clock, and we have few more to cover, and then most likely you all will have many questions to ask. So conscious of that. So I try to brief, and then you can ask the questions and we can go in depth. Maybe because of the time, I don't know.